Okay, as you may remember, this is where we left the book. I'm going to show you the next part now, which is to create the flappy page over the top of it. I did adjust the shadows. It was bulging out a little bit around the side, so I've actually adjusted those. So what we're actually going to do is to have an extra main page over the top with some art on it. You obviously don't have to put art on every page. Okay, so let's go through that stage. I'm just going to move this down a little bit so we can see what we're doing. Simply just make a 3-point curved object. Okay, to start with, I'm just going to make that. I'm going to use this tool now to then bend it, obviously like a page would be. Right, so yes, a folded page. You can make multiple pages in your own time if you want to make it a little bit more realistic with different levels of drop. Okay. What we're going to do this time is to pick, instead of a grey colour, I'm going to get rid of the colour fill and I'm going to give it a brighter whitey grey for a fill. If you can remember, we made it a stroke of 0.5, give it a thinness like paper would have. Okay. If you want to, I think that's a little bit too small for the book, so what I'm going to do is just enlarge it slightly. Let's see. Okay, and you can't see anything on the actual edge of the paper at the moment because it's pretty much white next to the white background. Okay, but hopefully what's going to happen now is we're going to do this extrude and you'll see it. If you remember, that's what I'm looking over here, we've had to write down the variables to make the extrude. Okay, so I'm going to fill those in. It was minus 35, 31, 10, minus 10, 50, and 800. So I'm going to make it 780 because it's a page, if you remember. And what you need to do now as well, which is very important, you don't need any shading on this one. What we're going to go down here is to go to where it says no shading. Okay, and you go to this section here where it says map art. I'm going to just click on preview so you can see what's happened though. Just move this out of the way. It's just made a very solid white page. Okay, which is what you want. Alright, so I'm going to press map art now. What you have is this little panel appearing. Okay, so what I'm going to have to do is go through this process of finding out. If you notice, when I go through this, it selects the different elements that make up the actual model. What I found, which is different to the tutorial I was following, is we have to map it to the background instead of the foreground. Bit problematic, but then we have to also put this as an invisible geometry. Okay, that's the way it goes, unfortunately. So what I'm going to do is find out, a piece of artwork. If I go down here, you notice these are all the artwork. It's already stored in there, so we have to actually make some artwork. Alright, so I'm just going to cancel this a second. To make this work, I'm going to have to just place some artwork into this picture. It doesn't matter because we're going to delete it. I say we've got some already made up. I've found some pictures of some doors that I like taking pictures of. Okay, I'm just going to find a couple of doors that I like. Quickly. And I like that one. Okay, let's place this one. As soon as you notice it's enormous, but it doesn't matter. It's already selected as well. So what we have to do here is go over to this symbol palette here. Okay, simply go to this panel and create new symbol. Yeah. Here we have to make sure it's on graphics. I'm going to put door. No, actually, no, I'm going to put left side. Okay. Press OK. You'll notice it then appears in your palette. Okay, delete that one. Find the right side one we're going to use. Let's find anything more interesting. No, let's say that one. Two different kinds of doors in the village I've visited. Okay, so I'm going to go again, new symbol. Make sure it's on graphics, and I'm going to put right side. I'm going to abbreviate right side. Okay, press OK, and you'll notice again it appears. Once we've done this, delete. Alright. Now we find our page again. Go to 3D extrude. I'm going to put those variables in again quickly. Minus 480. Oops. So 480 is 780. And no shading. Okay, now just press on preview. You've got your page back in the background. I'm going to move this slightly out of the way so we can see this shapes that I was talking about earlier. Go to map art. Go through this until you find the one you want. Now if we go down here, you'll find that my pictures are here, left side, this is the right side, so we need to select the right side. Okay. Press this quickly, like so. And you notice nothing's appearing here, and you're thinking, oh dear, you know, it's not going to work, is it? Anyway, what I'm going to do is just continue to get to the right size first, like so. So it appears on a book and it's got some white space around it, for instance. Like so I'm happy with this. Yeah, that's so. How do you get it? Oh, actually, what we're going to have to realise, I'm going to tell you to do is I'm going to move this to here, then I'm just going to grab this side and I'm going to drag it the other way so it's a reverse. You get the picture now, aren't you? What we have to do is to make it so that it appears through a transparent sheet. And this is where you do it. You go invisible geometry. So as soon as you press that on, you'll notice the picture appears, but there's no geometry. But we'll sort this out later. Okay, you'll notice a bit of a stretch here as well. So you may want to just tweak it a little bit. Right, so to whatever fashion you like. Okay, I'm going to just pull it down a little bit away from the top edge. So say I'm happy with this. Okay, what I can do now is to go to my next shape that I want, which is this one, which is the underside, I believe, yeah. That's the underside, so I'm going to go to my other picture, my left side. Oh, that's the top side actually, so we can actually blend that straight in. Or is it? Yeah, that is the top side. That's working properly. So what we're going to do, doesn't matter. We're going to just simply adjust this to fit. If I want to put it where I feel it's necessary. Like that. Okay. Once I'm happy with that, you just press OK and then press OK again. And there's your two pictures in the right place. But as I said, where's the page? Okay, so what we're going to do now is go back to this, and what you'll notice here, we've got this path still. So all we need to do is duplicate that. Okay, may take a little time. Select the one underneath and go to our appearance palette, and you'll notice it's got this bevel extrude. So if we just double click on this, go back here again. Okay, it's got all the same variables as it was when it was the actual page. So what we need to do is go to map art. Okay, click off invisible, what's it? Okay, and so as the page comes back, we've got to make sure we get rid of these as well. Just put them back up to none. We don't want to keep any adverse pieces of artwork because it may take rendering time. Press OK. Press OK. You've got a piece of artwork and a page all mapped out onto your pages. Okay. What we need to do first before we start making mistakes is to group those two things together. Okay. So if we select one, we'll select the other one. So they're both grouped. Okay. I'm just going to move this around a little bit so it's sitting in the right place, and you notice instantly when I move it down it's just too small, isn't it? Yeah, doesn't look like it's fitting on there at all. Okay. Yeah, what we can do is obviously expand it, and it'll just readjust everything. You have to be patient with this because it's doing quite complicated rendering mathematics. Yeah, you may notice it's roughly the right size. Same with my Worcestershire accent. I'm just going to use the arrow keys now just to put the spine at the right point. Now, using this, make sure I lock all the other things. I'm going to drag it because I want to select both of them, picture and the page. I'm just going to move it around until the page sits where I want it to be, which is on top of that corner. You may notice that it's actually above that point, but it doesn't matter. It's got to look visually correct and not actually correct. Okay, so that's one side done. Let's get to the other side so I can see the handle. This needs to come in a bit. Just a little bit more. Okay. So we have a pages of quite a swish looking 3D book. Saying that that's actually not in the right place, is it? That'll do. Yeah. I think what we're finding is that the extrusion is a little bit too much. You see it looks like it's going way over the top of the page there. So what I have to do is just reduce the extrusion a little bit. It's all trial and error, but it gives you a good effect eventually. There you go, extrusion. Yeah, it shouldn't be over 800. It should be, do you remember it was 780? Yeah, now you notice what's happened. Yeah. So I'm going to do that to the other one as well. Yep. Okay, yeah. No, because it's smaller, the mapping's gone wrong. Told you, this is a complicated bit, so you have to get it right. Okay, so once you're happy with all this, actually these are upside down now. So what you have to do is to literally turn it back on itself. So yeah, find the other one. And that has to be, that's correct actually, but it's slightly twisted on the middle section. It's distorted the middle section there. I don't know how you can get rid of that. Notice here, but There's actually no way of fixing that, but we're going to leave it. So we're going to press OK. Okay, so notice we've got pages on the two images. Okay, so I'm going to get back to our group, move it back into position. So there you go, the page is actually the right size now and sitting in the right place. As you notice though, it hasn't got much shadowing, it looks a bit bright there, so what we're going to do again, what I'm going to do is grab the lower one, because that's white and it hasn't got any texturing on it, grab it again, basically put it over the top of the other one, which is not very good really, is it, because you can't see the pictures. Aha. So what we're going to do is expand the appearance, like so. Using my pen tool, I'm simply going to zoom in so I can see the edge by which this page is made. So I can draw a straight line all the way to the other point, like so. I'll zoom out. Draw around one side of this, like so. Okay, just need to check on this part to make sure it's all. That's got to be just to that point. There you go. That's fine now. So once you've got it all lined up and everything, just select both objects. Oops. Make sure you've only got the actual. I don't need that. I don't need that. I do need that. Drag that out. Drag that out. Delete. That's the actual page. Okay. Actually, it seems like it's already auto cropped it for me. But what you need to do if it doesn't is to select this, select your objects, go to your Pathfinder tool, and press divide, and it also divides it for you into two pieces. I'm quite lucky it's actually done it for me. Okay. So what we need to do now is to apply a gradient. So I'm going to go to my gradient palette, add a grey gradient to it. This is the nice thing about CS4 now, it allows you to twist this around so you can actually get it at the right angle. So it's going to be about 46. Yeah, that's a bit too dark, but what we're going to do first anyway is to go to our layer palette. Transparency palette, and put this on to multiply. Instantly you'll see what we're trying to get at here. Okay, and what we need to do is go back to our palette, because that's too strong, and just make this a little bit more lighter grey so it looks like it's actually a blended thing. But once we've done that as well, we need to pull this back so it's actually cutting into the spine area and not into all the page, because most of the page is actually covered with bright light. Okay, like so. Okay, so once you're happy with that, obviously what you have to do now is to apply the same effect to the other side, which is this side. So I'm going to go back to my gradient, apply it. You notice it's a little bit wonky again, so I'm going to move that back to where it was. It's about 34 on this side, but even more so this has got to be less extreme, because it's actually just a slight fold in the corner. What you can do as well is to just adjust the triangle a little bit so it spreads out a bit more. But what you can do is to bring this out like so, and then bring this, holding your Alt key down, so you have a little slight edge in the center as well, where it hits the spine. Okay. So once you're happy with that, you go to your transparency options, go to multiply, There we go, we've got a book. Yeah, it's got basically a shadowed effect in it. Nearly finished, but this is where I change it slightly as well. As you notice that the photographs might have a shine, or there might be a light bright section on their page. So what you do is you just get both of those options you just done, those paths, duplicate them again, quickly turn the mode to either screen or overlay. Okay, you notice with overlay you get this extreme effect now. It's not what you want, so you want a little short piece of highlighting in the centre. What you can also do is try to see what it looks like with screen if you want to. Yeah, notice a little bit. But if you want to, if you put this back to black, what happens with screen is it goes transparent with black. Same with this one. And so what happens is you just see the white effect. Yeah, like so. So put this in the middle. All we need to do is then drag these closer together. So what you're going to get is a extreme white highlight where the light would be across the actual. You can see there it is. And it's hitting across there. Alright. Let's just see what it looks like on overlay. Yeah, same effect. You can see just a slight intensity on the. Let me just put it up a little bit, yeah. On the picture, where you get the highlight across your page. Okay, we'll do the same on the other one, the duplicate. Right, so I'm going to just change that to screen. Again, you see it's very intense. So I'm going to just change the black first. You'll see a big difference straight away. Okay, but as I said before, just move this right across. Like so, and obviously we just need it like that, so I'm going to drag this to make a black across there. You see there's a slight white line across there, so all we need to do is just change the opacity like so until you just see the highlight. And just as much as you want. I'll just bring that up again. Yeah, let's see what it looks like on overlay. Yeah, just a little bit of something just to add extra feel that there's a highlight on the page. Yeah, you can see it here burning across. It looks a little bit better when you rendered it out into JPEG as well. Okay, so we're nearly done now. So you've got your page, you've got a book, you've got pictures on it. You notice it's not that we've got here. We've got some shadowing here. You see it there, and there's no shadowing underneath the page. So what we need to do is to give this effect that there's some shadowing underneath this page. So what we're going to do is go to the layer that the page is underneath, which is this one. Choose my tool, okay, choose black on my palette, and so, okay, I'm simply just going to draw what I would say is just cutting in to that section a curve that would represent the natural shadow that this page would make. Obviously what I can do is spend time going back and do it on this other one, but I'm just going to literally make my life a little simpler for this tutorial. And just go down here, bring it back, bring it all the way up to here. So actually I don't need to do, because it's underneath, it will be underneath. I just need to do that. Let's finish it. What you'll notice is it's above everything, so just go and bring it down below the actual line of the put it on multiply, not knock down the transparency so it looks like a shadow. Give it some Gaussian blur. Wait for it to come in. You can adjust the blur to whatever you think is necessary. I think it was set for the previous time, which is this bit here, so I'm going to just press OK on that. And finally I'm going to adjust the opacity a little bit, just bring it back up again. Okay, I'll just adjust this to be slightly darker. And then one final little thing, you'll notice whilst it's trying to do that, you notice that this hasn't got any shadow underneath it as well, and that would have an effect obviously as well. Okay. Right. So once it's all rendered out and done the blur and everything, so I'm just going to literally do another shadow that just sits. Yeah. Adjust all the points just to make it fit nicely. Obviously you can take your time when you're doing your own. This is just a quick exercise. Put it on multiply again, transparency 75 as it was, and then just apply the same Gaussian blur. Maybe less actually because it's about 4. And if I zoom out, there you have it, a nice finished 3D book. Obviously you can tweak it and make it look a little bit more special according to how you want it and so forth, but at the end of the day it looks like a 3D book, and it's quite impressive I think. Okay.